Have you ever wondered what silence sounds like after a storm that lasted a lifetime? Imagine the moment when the deafening roar of the hellfire, which was raging beneath your feet just seconds ago, finally fades into a distance. You have just crossed the Sirat, that razor-thin bridge spanning over the abyss, a journey where every step was calculated by the weight of your deeds. The fear that gripped your heart, the terror of the end times, and the signs of Qiyamah that you once read about has suddenly evaporated. You are standing on solid ground, but this soil feels different. It is soft, fragrant, and cool. You take a breath, and for the first time in your entire existence, the air does not carry the burden of anxiety, pollution, or fatigue. It carries life. You have made it. You are safe. Welcome to the beginning of your eternity. Welcome to Divine Sagas. This is not a dream. This is the reality you fought for when the world told you to give up. Think back to the days when you were alive on Earth. Do you remember the exhaustion, the constant battle to hold on to your iman when the world seemed to be drowning in darkness? There were moments when you felt like a stranger in your own home, holding on to a burning coal just to maintain your faith. You wondered if your prayers were being heard. You wondered if you would truly recognize the truth when deception looked so real during the trials of faith. But here, standing at the precipice of the ultimate reward, those memories begin to feel like a distant nightmare that has finally ended. You look around, and you are not alone. There are others with you, faces glowing with a light that resembles the full moon, people who, like you, chose patience over pleasure and truth over popularity. Before you can enter the gates, there is one final pause. It is not a pause of judgment, but of purification. You stand at the Qantarah, a bridge after the Sirat. This is where the heavy baggage of the heart is finally dropped. Have you ever wondered what it would feel like to have zero jealousy, zero anger, and zero resentment? On Earth, even with the best of people, there were misunderstandings, there were grudges that weighed down your soul. But here, Allah removes the rancor from your chest. You feel a physical sensation of lightness, as if a tight vest of iron has been shattered off your body. You look at the person standing next to you, perhaps someone you argued with on Earth, perhaps a sibling or a friend, and you feel nothing but pure, unadulterated love. You are now pure enough to enter a place that allows no negativity. And then you see it. In the distance, rising into a sky that has no sun but is illuminated by the light of the throne of Allah, are the gates of Jannah. They are massive, wider than the distance between the east and the west, yet today they are crowded with those who have succeeded. As you approach, the scent hits you. It is not like the perfumes of this world that fade or smell synthetic. It is a scent that travels for years, a mixture of musk, saffron, and something distinct that smells like home. It is the smell of a promise kept. You realize that every tear you shed in sujood, every temptation you resisted, and every moment you showed courage and faith in Quran was a payment for this very scent. The gates swing open. The keepers of paradise, beautiful angels whose faces shine with joy, are standing there. They do not look at you with the sternness of the angels of death or the intensity of the angels of the grave. They look at you with recognition. They know your name. They have been waiting for you. They greet you with Salamun Alaikum, peace be upon you. You have done well, so enter here to abide eternally. Can you imagine the validation in that moment? All your life you sought validation from bosses, from family, from society, often feeling inadequate. But now, the purity of the heavens is validating you. You belong here. As you step across the threshold, the first thing that shocks you is the transformation of your own self. You look at your hands, and they are not the hands that bore the wrinkles of age or the scars of labor. You touch your face, and the skin is flawless. The Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam told us that in Jannah we will enter at the age of 33. It is the peak of youth, strength, and vitality. Gone is the back pain that distracted you in prayer. Gone is the fatigue that made you sleep through Fajr. Gone is the anxiety about health, money, or the future. You are beautiful, resembling the beauty of Prophet Yusuf, with the heart of Prophet Ayub and the stature of Prophet Adam. You feel a surge of energy that is limitless. You could run for 1,000 years and never lose your breath. You take your first steps onto the soil of Jannah. It is not dirt, it is pure white musk. The pebbles under your feet are not stones, they are pearls and rubies. You look up at the trees, and their trunks are made of gold and silver. There is no dying wood here, no rotting leaves. Every leaf sings the tasbih of Allah. You realize that this environment is responsive to you. You wish for fruit, and the branch lowers itself to your mouth. You don't have to struggle. The struggle is over. You pause to reflect, and your mind drifts back to the stories you learned on earth. You remember the Islamic inspirational stories that kept you going. You think from lessons from Prophet Musa. You recall how Prophet Musa faced Pharaoh, the ultimate tyrant. Musa stood alone against a massive empire, armed only with a staff and his trust in Allah. You remember how terrifying it must have felt when the Red Sea was in front of him and the army was behind him. That fear Musa felt, that was the test of the Dunya. But the relief he felt when the sea parted, that was a glimpse of the relief you feel right now. You realize that your life on earth was your own version of facing Pharaoh. Your Pharaoh was your ego, the societal pressure, the trials of faith, and the whisperings of Shaitan. But you held on to the rope of Allah, just as Musa held on to his trust, and now you have crossed your own Red Sea. The miracles of Prophet Musa were signs for the believers, and today you are living the ultimate miracle. This connection makes you weep, not out of sadness, but out of gratitude. The Quran was not just a history book, it was a map, and it led you exactly here. As you walk further, you hear the sound of water, but it is not just water. You see rivers flowing without trenches, defying the laws of physics you once knew. There are rivers of pure water that never stagnate, rivers of milk that never change in taste, rivers of wine that do not intoxicate or cause headaches, and rivers of honey, pure and clarified. You approach the river of Al-Kawthar. Standing there, with a face brighter than the sun, is the one you have missed more than your own parents, the one you defended when others mocked him, the one you whispered in your prayers. Prophet Muhammad, sallallahu alaihi wasallam. He is holding a goblet. He sees you, and his smile lights up the entire horizon. He knows you. He knows you are from his ummah, the people who believed in him without ever seeing him. He hands you water from his noble hands, and he tells you that after this drink, you will never feel thirst again. This thirst isn't just physical, it is the thirst of the soul. On earth, we were always thirsty for love, for acknowledgement, for peace, for more money, for better status. We were never satisfied. But as that water touches your lips, the hole in your soul is filled forever. You are complete. You look around at the vastness of the gardens, the palaces made of hollowed pearls that pierce the sky, and you ask yourself, did I really do enough to deserve this? The answer echoes in your heart. You did not enter by your deeds alone. You entered by the mercy of Allah. But your deeds were the proof that you wanted His mercy. You continue your journey, and you begin to search for your home. You don't need a map.
You know exactly where it is, just as you knew the way to your home on earth, but with even greater clarity. As you approach your dominion, you see a palace that defies imagination. It is built of bricks of gold and silver, with mortar, musk. The size of it is incomprehensible. If you were a king on earth, you might have had a castle. But here, the lowest of the people in Jannah has a kingdom 10 times the size of the world and everything in it. And you have much more. Your family, the righteous ones, your parents, your spouse, your children are there. But they are not as you left them. They are purified, exalted, and glowing with the light of eternity. The reunion is not like the reunions of earth where there is awkwardness or time lost. It is a reunion of soul.
But amidst all this beauty, amidst the rivers, the palaces, and the reunions, there is a curiosity that tugs at your heart. You know there is something more. There is a specific day, a specific moment that every believer has been waiting for since the beginning of time. It is the day of Friday in Jannah, the day of Yawm al-Mazid, the day of increase. You hear a call. It is not a call to prayer, but a call to gather. Everyone is moving towards a vast valley, smelling of white musk. Pulpits of light, of pearls, of aquamarine, and of gold are set up. You take your seat according to your level of iman and your closeness to the Quran. The tension in the air is electric, but it is a tension of love, not fear. You look around and see the prophets. You see Ibrahim alayhi salam, the friend of Allah. You see Isa alayhi salam, radiant and humble. You see Musa alayhi salam, strong and powerful, and you remember again the courage and faith in Quran that he represented. You are sitting in the company of the best of creation, and then a silence falls, a silence so profound that the singing of the birds and the rustling of the golden leaves stops. A light shines, a light that overpowers the light of the palaces and the diamonds. Then Allah speaks. He greets the people of Jannah. Peace be upon you, O people of Jannah. Can you imagine the sound of the Creator speaking to you? The voice that commanded the universe to be, now speaking to you with gentleness and love. The believers reply, O Allah, you are peace, and from you comes peace. Then Allah asks, are you satisfied? Are you happy with what I have given you? The people of Jannah will cry out, O our Lord, how could we not be satisfied when you have given us what you have not given anyone else in creation? You saved us from the fire and admitted us into your garden. But Allah says, there is something else. I have a promise that I have not yet fulfilled. The believers will wonder, what could be better than this? What could possibly exceed eternal youth, palaces of gold, and the company of prophets? Then the command is given. The veils of light are lifted. For the first time, the creation looks upon the Creator. You see Allah. There are no words in any language, human or otherwise, that can describe this moment. It is not just seeing with eyes, it is seeing with the soul. In that gaze, you forget the palaces, you forget the rivers, you forget the food and the companions, you forget your own existence. The beauty of Allah is so overwhelming, so majestic, so loving, that if He had not decreed that the people of Jannah would never die, everyone would have perished from the sheer joy of this moment. This is the Beatific Vision. This is the ultimate reward. This is why you lowered your gaze on earth. This is why you woke up in the cold nights to pray. This is why you swallowed your anger for one moment of this. And Allah looks at you. He is pleased with you, and He tells you that He will never be angry with you again. This is the Ridwan, the eternal pleasure of Allah. The security you feel in that moment is absolute. There is no more fear of the end times, no more worrying about the signs of Qiyamah. The test is over. You are home.